Self-esteem is the belief we have in our personal value. It's the relationship we have with ourselves. So if you think about it, you cannot leave the house without yourself. You can't leave yourself at home. Oh, gosh, today I forgot myself at home. So we take ourselves with us wherever we go. And it's that relationship we have is do we like ourselves? Do we have a sense that we are okay and valuable and important? And that's what we call like self-esteem. It's how we esteem ourselves in every moment of every day.
And you have come up with something, Mythbuster. I like that. What is it that the myth behind self-esteem?
So in all the work that I've been doing with helping people develop themselves and have a different quality of life, the one thing that makes the most difference I've found is a key distinction around understanding self-esteem. And so I've been calling this a myth because I think a lot of people have been conditioned and led to think that their esteem is conditional, that it's based on what they achieve and what they do. That myth leads to people putting their sense of worth and importance based outside of them on the job or the car or the house or the clothes that they wear. And if that gets taken away, so if someone whose all their esteem is based on their work and they lose their job, they will lose their sense of self. It becomes a very personal loss. So the myth that I'm trying to help people understand and bust, as you're saying, is to understand that self-esteem is unconditional, something we were born with. You never had to fill out a form, when you turned 18 to join the human race. You were born a human being, and if you think of a newborn child, that child is important and valuable. So we can't lose. You can't lose that value. So the understanding that you're born with it is unconditional, and with that frame of mind, to then go and knowing that you are somebody with all that worth and importance, to express that through the work that you do, to express it through the life that you build for yourself. So instead of doing things in order to feel like a somebody, it's understanding that you are a somebody, and you're going to express your somebodyness through what you do.
But Telana, people can destroy you, isn't it? Or maybe words, spoken words can destroy you, or the environment that you find yourself in. How do you deal with that?
So one of the things, if you understand this, that you are valuable, and your self-esteem is unconditional, and you can separate it from what you do, when someone gives you criticism, it's easier to not take it so personally, because it's not about you. They may not be elegant or graceful or very skilled in the way they give you that feedback. So they may also, if they have this myth running in them, they may make it personal and say, instead of saying something about your report writing ability, they'll make it personal and say, you're terrible at your work, you can't write reports. To help people deal with that is if you yourself can make that distinction, okay, hold on, this person maybe doesn't know how to give the most constructive feedback, but what I can take from them is there's something about my ability in writing a report that could maybe be improved, but it's not me. It's about my report writing ability.
But as a human being, it must be very difficult for one not to take things personal.
It is difficult if you're running this myth. It's been my experience in myself and with the people I work with. If you can understand that if you don't link your self-esteem to what you do and then to that criticism that comes about what you do, then you don't take it personally. If you can make the distinction, like I am me, and what I do is an expression of me, and my expression may be clumsy, then there's still maybe emotions around the information you get, but it's not you don't experience it as a personal attack. You experience it that, okay, there's an area I need to improve in my expression.
What if this is self-inflicted pain? I hate myself so much, or maybe I just feel that things are not going my way. All the time I see negative. Can I move away from that? Is it possible? Are you able to help one to get rid of that?
Yes, and it's a very strong yes. It is possible to change that. So it's often what happens in that instance is the person may be running this myth, that they're taking things more personal, so one is helping them make that distinction. And it's also just noticing your thoughts. So instead of saying I hate myself, you could maybe say, well, I'm not happy with the way I expressed myself through X, Y, Z. I give the example of writing the report. I don't like the way I write reports. That doesn't mean I don't have to not like me. We are so much more than a few things we do. So it's just about changing the way we talk to ourselves. It's one of and that's within our control.
I speak to myself more than anybody else, isn't it?
Yes.
That can be destructive sometimes, isn't it?
Yes. So it's up to you to quality control the way you speak to yourself.
And how can I improve that self-esteem? How do I improve it?
So one of the first things to do, it's literally just understanding the difference that I've been explaining, and then it's to make a decision. It's literally, it can be, that's like the biggest turning point, is deciding that from this moment on, my esteem is no longer going to be conditional on what I do. From this moment on, I've decided that my esteem is unconditional, and I'm going to now express my value through what I do, and look at taking feedback as information to help me improve my expression so that I can share more of my value. So that's the start, is just understanding the distinction and making that decision that you're not going to put your esteem and the value that you place on yourself conditional on outside things, that you're going to turn it around and make it from the inside out. And then it's to do things like just accept where you are right now, because acceptance is the first part of making change. And that doesn't mean you have to like where you are. It's facing the reality. Right now, this is where I'm at, and this is the level of my skill, and this is my current situation. And then it's to start just looking for those things you can appreciate about yourself.
And self-esteem and self-confidence, those ones can be confused sometimes.
Yes. And I often find people use them interchangeably, thinking they're talking about the same thing. And that's the myth I'm talking about. So self-esteem is understanding that's our human beingness, and that is unconditional. Self-confidence, it comes in our human doingness. It's about what we do, and our confidence will always go up and down depending on our level of skill of whatever it is. So your confidence will be higher the more and more you practice public speaking, but then when you don't practice it for a while, your confidence in your ability to speak in public will go down a bit. So if you don't make the distinction and make it separate, that self-esteem is different from self-confidence, your self-esteem then is linked to your ability to do, to your confidence. And as your confidence goes up and down, so your self-esteem goes up and down. But when you make them separate, your self-esteem stays at like 100%. So it's unconditional, and then your confidence will go up and down. And it's a very different experience when you think, it's not about me, it's about what I do. And I'm not that confident right now in public speaking, but I am very confident in my ability to cook a really good meal. Do you know what I mean? It's to say, well, then I have got some sense of confidence. And then I know the more I speak in public, the more my confidence in my ability to speak will improve. Because confidence comes with practice. It comes with doing. Whereas esteem is just a being thing, and it's unconditional, and it starts with that decision.
But Telana, I wanted to ask you this. Is it possible that your confidence might be seen as arrogance by other people around you?
Yes, I suppose it can, in how some people might perceive someone who's very confident as arrogant. For me, when there's a genuine confidence in your ability, it's a very natural way of being, of doing things. Some people that I think try to appear even more confident than they're not, is when that element of arrogance kind of comes through. Other people can sense there's something not right. This person's like trying too hard. And it's often in those cases, that person who's trying too hard is because they haven't made this distinction. So they're not comfortable with themselves, so they're trying to be, something they're not. They overextending themselves, and they come across as arrogant, like overconfident. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. But Telana, if people want to take this further, where do we get information? If we want more information from whatever workshops that you're conducting, and maybe people want to speak to you online, where do we go?
Yes, the place to go is to my website, which is www.innercoaching.co.za. I have articles there. I have some courses around self-esteem, and I'm really wanting to speak to people about this concept. So yes, they go to the website innercoaching.co.za.